Aaliyah, thanks. One branch of the military and one tour of duty was not enough for veteran James Kinney. He served in two different branches over several years. Kinney started by joining the Naval Reserve in just his second year of high school, and he would conclude his service several years later in the Air Force.
And the first cruise that we took was we went to Havana, Cuba on a destroyer escort, which is a smaller ship than a destroyer. And it gets kind of bumpy anyway. And on a destroyer escort is even bumpier.
That first cruise turned into many more for James Kinney. In the Navy, he was part of the crew of thousands on the USS Franklin D. Roosevelt, and Kinney's job was fire control.
That's radar for the guns. What you do is you check them all the time, and then you find out where it hits, or misses and stuff. So you do that, and then you adjust accordingly.
Kinney says there were around 3,000 people on board the carrier.
Right behind that smokestack, and you see there's a cylinder type thing sticking up. That was the radar that we used for the fire control on the entire ship. But the guns were scattered around the ship.
And on the ship, planes took off frequently, especially during the Vietnam War.
Most of the time they're flying on and off all the time because training. Each squadron will put up 10 planes, land 10, take off another 10 or 15, and then there are different types of airplanes.
After a 4-year enlistment and seeing ports all across the Mediterranean, Kinney switched branches to the Air Force.
My job in the Navy was just about any grubby job they gave me. But in the Air Force, I worked in the flight simulator department. You had to keep the equipment running for training the pilots and recurrent training.
And for the next 8 years, he was stationed on land instead of at sea.
Well, obviously, I like the Air Force better because it's what got me my job with American Airlines.
As you just heard Kinney mention, he did work for American Airlines after leaving the service. He spent 42 years as an electrical mechanical engineer.
Heavier rains will